Hey everyone, welcome back to the American Jedi channel. Today I'm going to continue with part 2 of the Carvana buying process. This part I want to concentrate on the general buying process through Carvana. In part 1 I explained my personal experience with Carvana. Now for the average consumer, I'm going to rate Carvana probably a 3 out of 5. My personal rating, my experience, I gave it a 4 out of 5 in the first video. But I think for the general population, I would probably rate it a 3 out of 5, which warrants some consideration for Carvana. For anyone that is thinking about buying a car, I think they work a lot better for people that have challenged credit. Because they do finance a lot of people that normally wouldn't be financed at a regular dealership through a regular bank. They use a bank called Bridgecrest. I don't know if the bank solely does Carvana or if it's Carvana owned bank or how it works, but Bridgecrest, basically starting from the beginning, you will get, you'll go on the Carvana website. The best thing to do is just create an account. And then when you create an account, you can look at all the cars you want to look at, and there's little heart icons on them, which will put them into your favorites cart. Okay, and then, from that cart, once you're done looking at cars, you can kind of compare the cars that you want, and, settle on one. Now, keep in mind that Carvana does let you look at up to 3 cars. So that's exactly what I did. I looked at 3 cars. Now, when you create your account and start looking at your cars, you can do what's called a pre-qualification. It won't affect your credit. The pre-qualification will tell you, okay, what your payment will be, how much they want you to put down, if any, and that's it. I think they might tell you the interest rate. I can't remember if they tell you the interest rate right away or if you actually have to do a full application for that. The application process wasn't very hard. Once I found this car, I was pre-qualified. It told me, hey, your payments are going to be this much. And so I went through the actual buying process of qualifying and everything, and it asked me for my income. I think it asked me what my mortgage payment was, and that was pretty much it. I punched in my social security number, all that. Came back with, and it was pretty much on par with what the pre-qualification said. I think the interest might have differed by like 3 points, 0.3%, whatever. It wasn't that big of a deviation, so I was pretty happy because the pre-qualification is kind of what pushed me to buy it. And I was like, oh, hey, this is a good interest rate for me, and this is I can afford these payments, so and I can afford the total. That's what you really want to look at when you're buying a car, is the total. Yes, make sure that it fits into your payments, make sure that it fits into your budget, but also keep in mind of the overall price of the car. If you don't want to spend $40,000-$50,000 on a car, then don't. Look at the finance charge, how much the interest is going to cost you over the life of the loan. If you plan to pay it off early, or if you can afford to pay double or a couple hundred bucks extra, then do so. Anyways, so we're up to the point of purchasing the car. So what happens is you go through the credit application process, you get approved. It's through Bridgecrest Bank. And then you go on to the next step of ordering your car. You place the order. They'll give you a window for your delivery dates. And mine happened to be, I ordered on a Friday, which I think was the 6th, and 6th of December, 2021. And they had it delivered the following Monday on the 9th at 3 o'clock. The guy actually showed up at 2:56. So what happens between when you actually order the car, they give you the window to tell you when your car will be delivered. And out of all 3 cars that I looked at, they were on time or early. So I've heard horror stories about Carvana calling a few hours early or texting a few hours early saying that your delivery has been delayed. Didn't happen to me. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe I got lucky, but all 3 deliveries were on time or early. So, and all the drivers were very friendly. Anyways, between when you actually pick your delivery date and when you get the car, Carvana will email you some documents that you have to electronically sign. So the documents are odometer disclosure, you've got your finance contract, pretty much all the stuff that a dealership will make you sign before you can take off with the car. So keep that in mind, that you actually have to purchase the car paperwork wise before you get the car. Now, as far as the down payment, if you want to put a down payment or if they're requiring a down payment, keep in mind that that down payment will be taken out the day your car is delivered. So in my case, the car was delivered on a Monday at 3 o'clock. I saw a, what is it called? A pre-authorization for the down payment amount that day, actually. And the money came out of my bank the very next day. You know, if you look on Carvana's website, they might, you know, I think they said like 2 to 3 days, you know, for it to process. Well, in my case, it wasn't even 24 hours. They took the money quick. So your down payment comes out on the delivery day of your car. The purchase date is considered the day of delivery of your car. Okay. Now, let me tell you about Carvana's guarantees. So you have 7 days to drive the car, return for any reason. You don't even have to give a reason. Just say, I want to return the car. So what happens then is that they will cancel your contract. Your credit will have already been run, so there's nothing you can do about that, but they'll cancel your contract and they'll take the car back. Now, there's no other dealership that I know of that does that. So there's no other dealership that's going to let you put mileage on their car, take it off the lot, and then return it later. No bank, really. And that's another thing to consider, is that Carvana, there's a lot of banks that won't work with Carvana, and that's not to say that none of them do, but there's a lot of credit unions and big banks that won't work with Carvana because of their 7-day guarantee. They're not going to let you sign a contract and do all that paperwork and stuff, and then, you know, lo and behold, you know, 3 or 4 days later, you're like, I changed my mind. Yeah, so that's a good thing about Carvana, is that you have 7 days to see if the car fits your lifestyle, if it fits in your garage. You know, if you like how the child seats are, you know, you can install the child seats in there. You could see everything. Does your dog fit in there? You know, is the car running right? Are there any issues or scratches that you didn't notice? So the 7 days is pretty good. Now, they do have a stipulation on the mileage that you can drive during that time, and it's 400 miles. They will let you drive 400 miles in 7 days. Any mileage that you incur over 400 miles, you're going to pay $1 per mile. Okay? So the $1 per mile, so like the day that came that I was looking at my third car, I probably had like 800 miles on mine. So I kind of I put that into consideration when I was looking at my third car. And I was like, I'm going to have to pay them $400 if I turn this car in. So that was another consideration for me anyways. The second warranty that they give you is a 100-day warranty, or guarantee that they give you is a 100-day warranty on anything mechanical in the car. It doesn't cover cosmetic imperfections on the inside or outside, so any scrapes or dings or whatever, they're not going to detail your car for free. None of that's under the warranty. The warranty covers strictly mechanical things. And from what I understand and from what I've read, it's pretty much bumper to bumper. It covers electronics. It covers, you know, pretty much anything on the car. It doesn't cover brakes or tires or rotors or anything like that. Any wearable items, you know, any wearable parts on the car. But for example, like on my car, I took it to Volvo for pre-purchase inspection. I recommend anyone that's buying a car, regardless of whether you buy from Carvana or not, a used car, take it in for a pre-purchase inspection at the dealership that sells the type of cars that you buy. So for example, I took my Volvo to a Volvo dealership, Crown Volvo in Clearwater, Florida, and I paid them $177 to do a pre-purchase inspection. And the car passed with flying colors, with the exception that there's a belly pan that's kind of half hanging down. And the belly pan is like from my understanding, I looked at it and it looks like a piece of insulation. Really, it's like a thick piece of like cardboard or foam or something, and it was just hanging down, and we looked for evidence that someone ran over something to pull that thing down, but we couldn't find any scrapes on the bottom or anything like that someone ran over something. So I have no clue how that happened. Maybe a bolt got rusted and it just fell off. Who knows? Anyways, the belly pan's going to cost about $250 to replace. I think the part's like $200 or $190, and then they charge like $60 or $50 per hour for the mechanic. And regardless, so I'm going to submit that claim. The warranty company that handles Carvana warranties is called Silver Lake. They give you a paper, so when you get your car delivered, they give you a whole folder with your contract, with the Carfax for the car, and with the warranty information from Silver Lake. It's 100 days. I think it's 4,200 miles. And like I said, you just call Silver Lake and tell them, hey, where can I take the car? You can also go on Carvana's website, and if you type in your zip code, it'll show you what they call preferred customer service centers. So what happens if you take it to preferred customer service centers? You don't have to pay the $50 deductible. A lot of them were like Pep Boys and tire discounters and stuff like that. And I'm like, I really don't want to take my car to tire discounters to replace a belly pan on a Volvo. I want to take my car to the Volvo dealership and have them do it. So I called Silver Lake and asked them, hey, it doesn't look like this Volvo dealership's in your network. Can I take it there? And they're like, oh, you can take it to any mechanic you want, but we're going to charge you a $50 deductible if it's not in our preferred network. So I was like, that's fine. And they're like, the only thing you have to do is call them and ask if they take payment from a third-party warranty company. So a lot of people should be able to take payments from anybody. So, you have a lot of options if something mechanically does go wrong with your car. So after inspection and everything was good, I decided to keep the car. After looking at 3 different cars, I decided to keep this car. So what happens is I'll go in the Carvana buying process if you were going to swap cars. Let's talk about swapping cars. If you get your car and within 7 days you decide, you know what, this isn't for me, you can look on their website and swap a car for another car, any other car that they have. And it'll tell you, if you sign into your account, it'll tell you the same thing again. Hey, here's your numbers, blah, 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 your payments, so forth and so on. And then what happens when you decide to deliver a new car, you have to sign another purchase agreement. So you have to buy that car again, the next car. And what they do is they cancel your first contract and you sign a new contract. So the next car comes. Say you decide you want to get in that car. You swap the car. Easy, done. You get another 7 days from the date that you swap the cars to decide whether you want to keep it. And let's say you want to swap it again, but the next car that comes isn't up to your standards, you refuse delivery, that's fine. As long as it's done within the 7 days, you can still return that second car, or if you want to keep it, you keep it. So I do like that guarantee because there's not too many none that I can think of actually, dealerships or banks that really will let you do the 7-day guarantee. So a lot of their loans are processed through this company, the bank called Bridgecrest, which I mentioned. And again, I'm not sure if they're owned by Carvana or not. I guess it doesn't really matter. But anyways, so that's pretty much the Carvana buying process in a nutshell. As far as review goes, I think I've mentioned this in my past videos. The quality of their cars just, I got lucky with this one. There were a few more scratches on it that were listed online, and I think that, the excuse that they gave me was that, we have a camera that does a 360, pictures of the car, and anything that we can't see from 5 feet away or further doesn't get listed online as a deficiency. They show a little yellow triangle. If you go on Carvana's website, you could do a 360 view of the interior, exterior, plus they have pictures, and they'll show you the deficiencies that they found on there. Now, every Carvana car that I looked at online had like 2 to 4 deficiencies. So I think they just pick like 3 of them and put it on there, because if they listed every cosmetic imperfection, there'd be like yellow triangles all over the car. And no one would want to buy that when there's all kinds of warning signs. They'd be like, what the hell is this? So Carvana, as a marketing thing, I think they just pick like, 2 to 4 things, put it on there. And I'm like, okay, so you guys can see this small tiny chip on my hood here, right? Chair. You guys can see that, but you can't see that from 5 feet away. I can see that from like 20 feet away. So take it with a grain of salt. When you look at a car online, it may not come in the condition that you think it is. So, and the bad thing is you actually have to purchase the car before you ever see it. That's how you get the 7-day guarantee. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can get into a car, you can test drive it, you can, live with it, and you can check it out. Something that you can't do on a normal test drive at a dealership. That's the nice thing about it. The bad thing about it is that, Bridgecrest does give good rates. I have good credit. It's not perfect, but I have good credit, and I got a really good rate through Bridgecrest. It was very comparable to, I did some shopping online went through Lending Tree to see, what banks could give me what rates and stuff like that. And Bridgecrest was very comparable. Now, like I said, they will work with people that are financially challenged. I do have a friend that has questionable credit and got financed through Carvana at what I think was a good rate for his credit. Anyways, trying to think of what else about Carvana. Customer service was great. I was able to get on the phone with someone in less than 5 minutes every time. You can look at 3 cars, the contracts you sign before you see the car. I think that's about it. Now, they were really, when I looked at my 3rd car, it didn't even drive correctly. It was unsafe to drive, and they would not let me look at more than 3 cars. If you look at 3 cars, you have the option, and I found this out, you have the option of canceling your complete purchase. You don't want to buy a car from Carvana, so you can cancel everything. You can return the current car that you have. You can start the whole buying process again and look at 3 more cars. The issue with that is if you sold your car during that time, either before you got your car from Carvana or during your 7-day guarantee, that you're stuck with buying a car from Carvana if you do not cancel your purchase process. Meaning, like you don't want to keep any of the cars and you cancel it, then in my case, I had the car for more than 7 days, and I technically could turn it back in now, but I have about 800 miles that I've put on it, so that would cost me like $400. So I've had the car now for about 2 weeks, and I do drive a lot. So I wouldn't say I'm stuck with buying a car from Carvana. I didn't mean it that way. Sorry, it's kind of misleading, but I was done with the hassle of the car buying process. Plus, I really love the car, and I decided to keep it. So I could do level 1 paint correction on it for the little scratches that are in the clear coat. It's not a big deal to me, and the interior is immaculate and everything runs correctly. So key takeaways is you're buying the car before you see it. 7-day return window, 100-day warranty. You can look up at 3 cars. And what else is there? You can look up the 3 cars. There's trying to think anything else about Carvana. Oh, keep in mind that if you do see a car that has like 30,000 miles or somewhere around 40, the original tires are probably going to come on it. I looked at a 3rd car that had 35,000 miles on it, and they were definitely the original tires. They were at 4/32 tire tread depth. It might behoove you to go to an AutoZone or whatever automotive store and get a tire tread depth gauge, and they're like $3. And so when your Carvana car comes, you can look at it. You can see what the tread depth is in your tires if you're worried about it. 4/32 is really kind of the borderline of when you want to replace your tires. You're looking at 4:30 seconds. 2:30 seconds is really bad. 2:30 seconds is like, yeah, you need to go to the tire store right now because you're going to be sliding all over the place if it rains or snows. Anyways, that's the Carvana buying process in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Part 1, part 2 of my video, I'll see the comment or question and I'll respond quickly. And yeah, feel free to ask me anything about, you know, the cars, the whole process, anything like that, and I'll you know, shoot you an answer and try and help you out. I really just want to help people out in this economy. You know, I know a lot of people are turning to online car sales like Vroom, Carvana, or even buying other cars online through dealerships. It's just an easier process than haggling and staying at the dealerships. There's a lot of dealerships that are going to no haggle pricing. So, you know, like Carvana is no haggle. So Tesla is no haggle. You know, you pay what they ask for. And, you know, this being my 22nd car, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like that. You know, I liked the haggle and I liked thinking that I got a good deal and everything else. But the best thing you can do is check the Carfax. You know, when you're buying a car from Carvana, you can also look at the window sticker so you can see what the original MSRP was on the car. And then you can, you know, check Kelley Blue Book or NADA or whatever for the value of the car, and you can kind of see what the private party value would be. So hopefully if it's close to that private party value, then you're getting a good deal, hopefully. Because there's one more, which I don't think they show you on Kelley Blue Book anymore, but there's a retail value as well. So that takes into account of, you know, inspections and reconditioning and things like that, you know, a dealership or a car seller incurs when they take in a car. You know, they got to clean it and everything else. And so, you know, they do put a little money into it. So the retail value is going to be higher than a private party value. Anyways, this video is 22 minutes now. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. And thank you for watching. And I hope you guys have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays here in about a week. Or if you're already having a holiday right now, Happy Holiday. So take care and thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.